Today's show is pre-recorded. The views in this podcast are our own and do not represent those of the Department of Defense, Department of the Air Force, or Department of the Space Force.
I've been asking for recording music the whole time. I need something to amp me when I'm doing this.
It was all a dream. Used to read Word Up magazine. Salt and pepper and heavy tea up in the limousine. I got you.
Hey, thank you. I appreciate that.
And then
All
I'll
right.
fade out.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are back. The revolutionaries are here to give you the news again. All right. Another week has gone through. Another series of events has come through. And we are willing to talk about. We got questions that need to be answered. All right, so go ahead and get your attitudes up. All right, some people did not wake up today. Some people are not here on this planet today, but we are here. We are here, and we are ready to give you that information that you need. All right, the revolution will not be televised because we right here up in your radios. And if you don't think that we the best and the brightest, then go ahead and change the station, as I always suggest. But we still gonna be here. We don't even have to introduce ourselves because you already know who we are. But it is what it is. I'm gonna go ahead and do it anyway. Hype Man Sledge, Captain Christian Sledge here, Det 4, University of Nevada, Las Vegas, the Rebel Nation, what? Now, again, this show would be nothing without the chief personnel here that are actually running the show. I'm just an advisor. So you know how this is going to go. You're going to go ahead and do the, what I like to call the roll call. All right. The all stations check. Okay. To make sure you guys know for sure who's online today, who's going to be dropping that knowledge for you guys. So how this is going to go, I'm going to go ahead and call their names and they're going to respond with their counter sign. Let you guys know who's in the building today. All right. Everybody get it? Everybody ready? All right, cool. Sweet. So first on the deck. All right. Coming with some spicy stuff for us today will be Cadet Manresa.
Biggest, baddest, best.
All right. And then next on the deck, our General Military Course Advisor. And first time on the deck, we have Cadet Arroyo making her premiere today.
Hey, y'all.
All right. And then, of course, former Wing Commander. She's going to be navigating our ship today for Cadet General, who's out today. We have Cadet Ballesteros.
Alive and well.
And the first in command, of course, doing our thing the best. Without him, we ain't going nowhere. We have Cadet Wade.
Yeah, buddy, lightweight.
All right, cool. That is the crew today. We are giving it to you live from, of course, Detachment 4, Las Vegas. All right, we're going to start off, as usual, asking Cadet Wade what is on his mind, what is bothering him, what does he want to talk about? Wade, what you got?
I got money on my mind, sir.
Oh, you know how it is. I got that all the time. I think we all can agree on that one, man. What else you got?
Okay, all right. Well, over here at Det 004, we always got something going on. There's a new problem every hour of the day. Not even every day. Every hour of the day. And I'm pretty sure we can all attest to that because we see them ourselves. What we were talking about earlier, different conversations coming up with, how hard should PT be? Should we have a fit? Should we do this? Should we do that? What should our training look like? Should we push the limits on training, or are we still in that walking, crawling, running fit? Like, where are we at in there? And we were having some thought-provoking discussions, and you had some great points that, just clicked right in my mind. And I think that's something that the rest of the podcast audience would enjoy to listen. So the thing is, what should our tolerable risk level look like as college students, ROTC cadets, future leaders, as normal human beings? How much should we go up to that barrier, get close to the limits, or maybe even go beyond them sometimes in order to achieve and get to the levels that we desire to be at? Whether it may be PT, maybe instead of what we're talking about, running 2 miles, we run 3 miles. Maybe we see what our actual limit is. How do we navigate that?
Yeah, and I get that. I understand that completely. So here's the deal. And y'all feel free to jump in and chime in as y'all need to be. But as how we live our lives, our whole life is risk management. Our whole life is risk, right? You all took risks getting here, right? You all take risks by just getting onto campus or going to work or wherever, right? Wherever you are, you're taking a risk, right? It is a risk management. So what we need to do is, and what motivates us to do the next item and actually take that risk, is getting that risk to a manageable level, an acceptable level in which we are saying we are willing to accept the risk here to get where we need to go to. I am aware of the things that can happen to me, and I'm going to mitigate this way. And then in order for me to say that it's okay, right? Because we cannot eliminate risk. Let's get it all the way straight. You cannot eliminate risk. You cannot reduce it to 0%.
Yeah.
Right? When you're trying to do something, there's always a risk there. You can transfer it, you can mitigate it, you can contract it out, you can do a lot of that, but you can't get rid of it. You can't reduce it to 0, right? So that's what we're trying to get at, right? Is the risk worth the reward? As Captain Belisario, Major Belisario always said, is the juice worth the squeeze?
What a man.
Right? Is it worth the squeeze to do this, right? Is the outcome worth me putting myself out there, right? And some people have to analyze that, right? Some people have to figure that out, and it is a constant battle. When somebody challenges you with a risk, the first reaction is not to cave, right? Is not to back down. That should not be your reaction. Your reaction is, okay, we've addressed the risk. How do we mitigate it to an acceptable level so that person, that communicator, that boss, that commander can accept it and we can go forward with it, right? And it might not be something you have to accept, right? You don't accept it all the way, right? You have to sacrifice sometimes. You have to compromise. Some things you have to give up in order to accommodate and make that risk happen.
Yeah.
So if we're not doing that, then nothing's going to happen. If we don't take the risk, where's the change? If there's no change, where's the improvement, right? Where's the growth? So we have to accept the risk in order to accept the change and accept the growth, but it has to be within an acceptable level.
Yeah. No, I 100% agree. And I think that comes into all facets of life. Starting simply here at the detachment level, what do we do twice a week? PT. You know, there's a lot of cadets that come in, and we talked about on our first episode. They come in, they're tired. They don't know what their limits look like, and they might not get even close, and they give up. And then our job as POC and cadre is to facilitate and provide that route to get a little bit closer to that limit, to take a risk. You know, whether the discussion may be, oh, this might not be safe to be able to push that hard or do this and that, but we don't know unless we find out. And then zooming it out to another level, I read a book one time, forgot the title. I don't remember book titles. Just remember the content that's in them. But I was reading up on this and how America, you know, our process of becoming a superpower is 100% risk. Took risks at every level to be at the level where we are. You know, whether it started at the Revolutionary War, Civil War, all of these stages, as America has gone through our history, there has been major turning points where risky decisions had to be made in order to even have a chance at, you know, being prosperous and getting to that point where we determine ourselves successful, right? And I like to think about, you know, as we face up against what are they doing on the other side of that sea?
Yeah.
What do you think their ROTC units are doing? Do we think that they are doing a lap around the track and calling it a day? Or maybe they're doing 4 times as much as us? Who really knows? But all we can control is ourselves. And I think that, yes, on your track that you were putting down is we need to navigate that risk assessment wisely, but we can't be scared to do it at all.
No. Yeah, I agree. We are a debt for the revolution. Like you say, you brought up the historical Revolutionary War where the colonists took a gigantic risk. You guys going against a superpower? Yeah, good luck. Y'all not doing nothing, right? They took that risk against all odds and made it happen, right? So my message to the revolution out there, you know, the debt for, right? The revolution is to think critically about what you're doing. And if you need to ask yourself, are you worth the risk? Where you're going, is it worth the risk? What are you doing to mitigate that to an acceptable level so you can make that plunge, right? Off the cliff, as I tell you guys. Jump off the cliff, dagnammit, right? Make sure your parachute's on, it's on, right? And it will work, I promise. But you got to take that jump, right? Either you're going to get kicked off the ledge or you're going to jump off the ledge on your own, right? Eventually, you're going to get tired of getting kicked off the ledge because that's what we're going to do to you. That's what the POC and the cadre are going to do to you every time. But, you know, eventually you're going to get to the point where I'm tired of getting kicked off the ledge. I'm going to go ahead and jump and save myself a kick in the pants.
Yeah.
All right, cool. So with that being said, I think we good. Cadet Ballesteros, I'm gonna give it to you with the schedule. What we got next on the list?
So next on the list is an icebreaker round by Cadet Wade, just to get the juices flowing in our brains, get the conversation going, and super excited. So Cadet Wade.
Yo, I'm back. Cadet Walbro can be with us today, but we're doing that icebreaker and we're doing some questions, would you rather and such, our typical flow. And this first one, I want to start off real good. And I'm mostly going towards the cadets here. Captain Sledge, this one might be out of your realm. But my would you rather question is, if for some reason the commander, Colonel Young, HQ, whoever it was, decided that you as a cadet no longer needed to be in this program, you got debt dropped, and you have two options. Your options are to get out, and since you are contracted now, you go to BMT, basic military training, be an enlisted member, and you get some AFSC out of it. Let's say, I don't know, security forces. Or you have the other option of going to Army, ROTC. I'm very curious on what you guys would pick. BMT or Army ROTC and be an Army officer. Let's start with Arroyo. Give it to us. Give it to us real.
Hey, hurry up. Hurry up.
I would probably enlist. I am not an army girl. I've talked to army people. I would enlist 100%. Without doubt, enlist. Yeah.
Ballesteros here. I'll keep it real simple. Send me to boot camp.
Marissa here. Given I am prior enlisted, I'll say I will try my luck with the army. I feel like I know firsthand that there's great opportunities in any of our sister branches. So the experiences and the knowledge that we all have from Air Force ROTC can always be applied anywhere, whether that's the military or the professional sector. So I would just try my luck with ARTC.
Captain Sledge, if you could wind back the clock a few years, just a few.
Yeah, just a few. You talk about 19 years, 19 rotations around the sun. Yeah, it was 1993. No, just kidding. More like 2003.
Okay.
Well, consider the fact that I look back at BMT and realize, what it taught me. Man, I don't know. I think I would go back and do it again. I think I would go back and do the Air Force BMT thing again. And even though they were rough, man, they would hurt your feelings over there. We talk about hurting our feelings today.
No,
they hurting feelings back then, man. Dang, I was like, I didn't even know that word existed. Now I do. But I'll go back over there in a hot second. You know what I mean? That's just how I roll. Air Force.
You learn quite a bit. This one is more like a personal foresight. Like, what would you do with your future, possibly your family's future and such? So if you were to go through this military gig works out, you were going to go through the full thing. Let's say you did full 20, however long. Would you rather, you get an option of picking one, but you can't have both. Would you rather walk out and have the military pension or the GI Bill? You don't get to have both. You only have one. Start with Cadet Marissa.
Yeah, I'm gonna take it from here. Given I already used my GI Bill pursuing this bachelor's and the start of my master's, I will say that I will give up the GI Bill and retain that military pension.
Mm-hmm. Get paid until you die.
Absolutely.
Smart. Sir?
Oh yeah. I'm give me that pension, because give me that pension all day, right?
Mm-hmm.
GI Bill, I get it, man. Yeah, you realize I can get an education with my pension, right? You realize I can do that, right? I go or I can just not and go do something else.
Okay.
All right.
What about the kids though? You don't want to pass it off to the kids?
What kids? What kids?
Kids don't need to learn.
Kids,
they got YouTube.
Look, I trust him. Look, Adrian right here. He is 13 years old. I brought him up well. He good. He know how to grind. He know how to hustle. I said, I'm going somewhere else now. I'm going somewhere else.
He look like he know how to make $1 out of two.
Yeah, he know how to make a mayonnaise sandwich. He good. He good. Go ahead and make that mayonnaise sandwich.
I quite frankly would do the GI Bill, just because of the fact that even if, like, let's say the kids end up being I have no kids right now. The kids end up being smart and they have a good plan and scholarships. I would rather them save that money for like, let's say when they move out and kind of start building those other adult skills. Because I feel like oftentimes, you graduate college, yeah, you had a whole bunch of scholarships, but after the fact, a lot of people, if they're not going in the military, they just don't know what to do. And they're just at loss of words. They're just with their parents, trying to figure out more money to move out. What's their job? So yeah, I would stick with GI Bill.
Biostars is a little nice. I'm gonna go with the pension. Just that pension.
Send them to the academy.
That's crazy. Yeah, that was a good discussion. Do we got time for one more?
What we got, Adrian? He's the
We can
engineer this
press.
year, y'all. What? All right, we got 3 minutes left. We got time for one more.
All right. I want to come up with a hot one. Those are my 2 prepared ones. Does anybody else got one that they are dying to ask?
Nah, go ahead and do that.
All right. Well, if you were, we might have to edit this out. There's a little blank space.
Do a Halloween one.
Halloween one? Oh, okay.
Yeah, we can go with the traditional stuff. It's October, so let's do
do
some
it.
Halloween stuff.
If you were to be chased by one of the bad guys out there, the Halloween bad guys, I don't know what do they call them? Scary people? I don't know. Yeah, your Freddy Kruegers and all of that.
Yeah.
Would you rather be up against? I'm gonna give you a couple options. Jason Voorhees, the guy with
You don't know Jason Voorhees?
No.
Crystal Lake?
Yeah. Jason, Freddy Krueger, Chucky, or it's another good one. The Boogeyman. Those 4. You get to pick one, and they have to chase you, and you either got to kill them or they're gonna kill you. Which one you picking?
All right, this was super, super easy. I always see the Chucky movies, and the homie's like super small. I can just imagine like cutting the guy, and like you would be able to survive like so quickly. Because I don't understand why the saga is so long, and people just don't think about kicking the dude in the face, and he just dies. But that's just, I feel like I would have a way better shot compared to Freddy Krueger and Jason, who are probably like over 6 feet tall, 200 pounds of pure muscle, or like Freddy Krueger, who just magically pops in your mind and you die in your sleep. So yeah, Chucky would be it for me.
We had the same thought going on. Chucky, yeah, just kick him in the face.
Same over here. Have you seen my size? Same over here.
All right, Counselor, take out Chucky, and you get to deal with the rest. Which
Oh
one?
man, well, I was gonna go with Chuck. You know how many times I didn't choked out my sister's dolls just to demonstrate how frustrated I was with her. That would have just been another clip of my life. All right.
Another day.
So what options I got left? Since y'all took Chucky out, and Chucky's not an option anymore.
Yeah.
The Boogeyman,
Freddy Krueger, and Jason.
Yeah, I don't need you messing around in my dreams. So Freddy Krueger, I ain't messing with. Yeah, they already bad enough. They would probably freak him out.
Dream about cadets.
Yeah, I ain't doing that. So
everybody failed. No field training.
Yeah, I can go. I'll probably go with Jason Voorhees. I go with Jason Voorhees. At least I would get a good PT workout.
Exactly.
Which some of us need. We need that.
Yeah, we do. Hey, isn't Jason coming to our debt? It'll probably be passed by the time you listen, but Friday the 13th, Jason is coming for Det 4. That's what Cadet Wing Commander.
Yeah, my BMI BFA will be on point because Jason just don't go nowhere. So I might as well just go ahead and get on the track and start going.
I think you could take him though. Y'all are probably about the same size. You're pretty tall, Counselor.
He don't go nowhere, but he don't go nowhere. So I run out of energy again. My BMI BFA on point.
Yeah, it is.
All right, cool. So Adrian, we good? We out of time here. We got to roll. All right, cool. Bye, Steros. What you got?
So back to our next segment. This one is based on the GMC that we have right here, Cadet Arroyo. So this is the first time in the podcast, but this is now a couple of Q's and A's with the GMCA. So we're really excited to get the GMC perspective.
Don't be nervous.
And just go off on us. Let us POC answer these questions.
Don't be nervous.
Okay, I'm not nervous, sir.
What is this segment called? What is this segment called?
Q's and A's with the GMCA.
Oh, okay.
I think that's creative. I did it. Cool. I can't take the credit for that though.
Who did that?
Cadet Holmes did it.
Oh, man, Holmes.
Some props there. He's got some crisp marching skills.
Okay, so I have 3 questions that the GMCA well, I am gonna ask you, but the GMC Corps want to ask you. So the first one is what advice would you give a cadet struggling with morale in ROTC?
Okay, well, so please say why you pointed at me.
Yeah.
I'm the knife hand type of person, so that question probably shouldn't be tailored towards me.
Well, my biggest thing would be I think we had previous guests that came to detachment that really hit this on the head is that morale isn't necessarily how happy you are. Morale is necessarily how content you are in your life. You know, are you putting in the like you have to find your own purpose because a lot of people are not going to find that purpose for you. And I feel like you will have a lot of fulfillment in your life if you find out what is your purpose, what is your why. Because I feel like oftentimes when you're in that limbo stage, that's why you have no morale because you just don't know where you're at. And things will always get hard. That is obviously really, really realistic now as college students and ROTC and doing all the things at the same time. But just always see as everything is a learning lesson, whether it is for you to learn something from it or to make you better and fortify it.
Okay. I won't piggyback, but I will give some examples in another piece. So, um, as a GMC, I had a good time hanging out with friends. You go to a lead lab or PT, and then y'all go kick it on the weekends and do some stupid stuff. But I transitioned to the POC Corps, it was a little bit different. So when I came in as a POC, my first job was training squadron commander, and then I was deputy PFO in the middle of COVID. Oh, let me tell you what a time that was. And then standing eval chief, operations group commander, blah blah blah. The list goes on. And throughout all of that time, a lot of those positions are up in front of the cadets, like the GMC Corps and leading your peers within the POC Corps. And let me tell you, every day is not a walk in the park. Like you are not having fun. It is not a good time, but you still have a job to be done. And I would show up to, PT early in the morning or at lead lab. And I'm like, man, I am not feeling it today. But I can't have that, because I might be feeling bad and I might feel some kind of way, but you can't. I would always think I can't let other people see me down. And even though I'm not feeling good, I'm going to do everything I can to go out there, show the confident face, be the best person I can, so that if I have one job while I'm feeling that way is to make myself feel good and others feel good. If you can do those two things and you can say, you know what, as long as I can make somebody else have a decent day and never have a bad day, then it'll help pretty well with your morale. Especially while you're at field training, like the times suck, but if your homie who was just flight commander got grilled on, and if you can turn his frown upside down, I I I don't think anybody in the world would not feel good after that. After you can help somebody out and make them feel good. So try and work on those things and you'll start to see a little bit of shift inside of yourself.
A bit of a different perspective. I've always been a big advocate for intrinsic motivation. Perhaps the motivation, the morale that you're looking for, you won't find it in the environment that you're placed in. And my challenge that I will present to GMC or anyone in general would be if your motivation glass is not full, then you need to look at yourself and ask yourself, why are you not happy? Isn't your goal enough motivation for you? If commissioning and being in this program is really everything that you want, then your motivation should be intrinsic,
Sure.
and that glass, you should be filling up that glass
That's a good
on
one.
your own. So that would be my 2 cents as far as morale goes.
It's a really good one.
Yeah, so from the cadre's perspective, it's very simple. My mentor, and I listen to him every day. My mentor also said, get your tudes up, right? Your gratitude, your attitude, and your altitude, right? And they're all connected, right? And it starts on an individual basis. First, be glad that you're here. Be glad that you're still on this earth. People intended on waking up and doing things, and they're not here anymore. Be grateful that you're up. Thank your divinity, thank the universe, thank whatever. Be grateful that you're here to be able to handle the other challenge. With that, your attitude changes, right? You're thankful that you're here, and your attitude changes, right? You got a positive attitude. You always are optimistic. You're always trying to help somebody out, right? You always tell somebody what you like about them. You give them a rose while they're there, right? Turning that smile upside down or that frown upside down to a smile, right? You're good. And then that will send your altitude up. You are cruising at 30,000 feet, right? And you can see everything and everything's cool. So get your twos up together, right? Thank goodness that you're still here and you're able to fight another day. All right.
Awesome. Okay, we're gonna move on to the next question. What advice would you give a cadet? This is more towards like FTP cadets that are coming into their first semester as a POC, if they make it.
Wow, that was pretty.
That's really morbid, but real.
Do you want to go first?
Yes, sure. I will take this. I think the biggest thing is to ask the questions. Ask the questions, seek the feedback, seek for outside opinions. We don't really know. We're not born knowing how to play the game. How to do things. It's not natural to us. And the only way to learn is by asking the questions, by failing, and then continuing to seek feedback every single day. Especially as a POC, it's paramount really for you to seek outside input in order to learn the job. A manual, it's not enough. Reading instructions is not enough. That's why so many humans in this planet are visual learners. So ask the questions, seek the feedback, and continue to grow. Don't think that just because you have these expectations laid out in front of you, you're good to go. That's not enough. It's never enough.
That's a great point. And I feel like, especially transitioning from a GMC mindset to a POC mindset, oftentimes when you enter, even as a 300, you're put in as a flight commander or a TRS or, somewhere else in the cadet wing. And oftentimes, sometimes you may seem or feel like you're just a manager instead of also a mentor. And I think that's the other side of the coin that certain POC are still trying to figure out because, they're getting all these tasks delegated down from either cadre or cadet wing leadership, but they're sending all that stuff down to their GMC, but then they often forget it's not just about you telling them what to do. It's like how are you mentoring, what they need, what are their strengths, what are their weaknesses, because that is still ultimately your job as a POC, right, to mentor.
I think when you come in as a POC, you should be like a fighter jet. So fighter jets often they take off at full afterburner, right? So you should take off max speed, 100% effort that you have. Like full throttle, give everything that you got. Then once those jets get up in the air, that's when they direct their heading, they adjust their altitude, and that's kind of how you should be as a person, full speed. And then once you get your groove on, adjust your attitude, adjust your heading, and take the feedback from those next to you because it's going to come hard and it's going to come fast. Because being a POC, you take a lot more flack than you do as a GMC because you're in charge of a lot more, and that's something you got to get used to. The next point is listen before you speak. Do not fill the room with empty words. There's a lot of, you might sit in a meeting as a POC and your buddy next to you, or, people are just talking to talk. Don't talk to talk. Use your words and use them concisely. Have a purpose for every single word that comes out of your mouth. That is a very important one. The next big one is to understand that as you come in as a 300, you might be put into a supervisor position above your peers, which does not make you better than them, does not make you more competent than them, does not make you in any way, shape, or form having the ability to treat them any differently. You should get a work attitude balance with the people that you're friends with, and you obviously shouldn't take what you guys are doing as a joke. But when you are in that ROTC environment, be in that ROTC environment, be humble, credible, approachable. But when you're out of it, if you are a squadron commander as a 300 above your peers and you guys are going out to eat after, don't act like you're everybody's boss outside of the ROTC environment. Like, just be friends like normal people. Don't be weird. That's it.
Alrighty, just due to lack of time, we're going to skip the third question, but definitely we're going to have Cadet Arroyo back here so we can answer some even more questions.
Y'all keep asking them questions.
Yeah, so please spam her.
Yeah, spam her.
Not too much, but
no, just spam her and make sure it's not at 2:00 in the morning.
Yes, realistic hours, guys. Realistic hours.
All right, cool. Where we going now?
Now we're going to transition to bite-sized advice, and as I always say, it's bite-sized advice that has big-size impacts. And I'm going to relate this back to today, right? Because I had a previous thing in my mind, but after today, got other things in my mind. So, when I first transitioned to a POC, I had a really big struggle when it came to delegating and setting expectations to people. And I know Cadet Arroyo's out here shaking your head. It's we feel it, right?
Preach. Yes.
Um,
Yes, sir.
Oftentimes I would feel bad about the things I was telling people to do, but then had to I had to sit down with myself literally of like, what am I doing? And it was essentially, I'm like, I'm doing them a disservice by not setting those expectations, holding them to higher standards, delegating, because either way, the quality is always going to be better, right? And most importantly, the growth is going to be there. If I do everything, they're not going to grow. And today, bringing it back, for those that were here at LAB, we had a big transition of who were the acting flight commanders, and the GMC in general got a really good taste as to how it is to have different types of leaderships at different random times. How was it, Aurelio? Kind of speak your mind.
Listen, I got put into a flight commander position. I got fired 2 minutes later. That's all I'm saying.
Dang.
Yeah.
So what was the issue? Did you feel the pressure, or like what was going on with it? Let's talk about it.
Okay, this was the thing is that when I got put as flight commander, all 4 flights were in the same spot. I couldn't make a decision, so I got fired.
So what did we learn?
Make a decision.
Yeah, make a decision for sure. That's definitely a big one.
Yeah, simply a decision is better than no decision. And you'll just, figure it out after the end. But this brought me back to a quote that I once heard, right? And it said, never feel guilty for the work that others have to do to win in life. And that just really set a lot of things into perspective, because we always have to have people do the work. And again, sometimes you may feel bad about it, but it is about those higher standards. Kind of like today with all the changes, right? Sometimes you're going a little bit hard on some cadets, whether it is for drill, whether there's a specific leadership style, but it is needed, right? And there's certain work to do because we want to commission the best officers we possibly can to get the mission done and to, excel in their AFSCs. But that's kind of like my realm as to the bite-sized advice. Don't feel bad. Of course, be realistic. Don't be somebody hammering down a whole bunch of stuff, right? Tailor it to your cadet, because obviously there's so many people with so many different majors, different personal lives, but don't feel guilty. So, what does the crowd have to say to that?
Cool. So while the crowd is brewing, Arroyo, do me a favor. If you can look up, excuse me, if you can look up some kind of statistic about empowerment and like those who can use it, just give me a statistic of empowerment. More specifically, who have more difficulty empowering others. Let's see if there's a statistic out there, some from working survey that's going on. While she's looking that up, I'm gonna throw this out here. This is more closer. Empowerment is closer than you think it is. All right. At least from my opinion as a parent, right? And you imagine, trying to teach your kids. I got one of them right there, teaching your kids how to do chores and other stuff like that, right? I struggle with that very often, right? And they don't see the point of it, right? And the biggest thing is, yes, I can do it myself. I can take out the trash. I can wash these dishes. I can do all of that by myself, and I'll probably do it better, right? I'll probably do it better than them.
I take out trash better than you.
Right.
I wash dishes better than you.
Yeah, exactly. So it's like, man, I don't want to ask them to do it because I'm not gonna get the quality of work as if I did it myself. I'm sure that's what Cadet Ballesteros was alluding to, right? But if they don't do it, how do they grow and get better at it, right? Sometimes I just, man, get out of my way. I just do it myself, right? But then again, I'm doing them a disservice, right? Versus just sending them back, because if I send them back, he gonna get mad because I sent them back, right? You know what I mean? I'm gonna do it again. But I was like, and I don't want to get him mad, but I was like, just get out of my face. I'll do it myself. But we've got to learn how to empower. It's actually more at home than you think. And shout out to all the parents out there. Make sure you guys thank your mom and your dad for all the things that they've done. If it's not your immediate parents, whoever's responsible, somebody's empowered you throughout your life. Thank them. You got nothing, or you didn't get no empowerment statistics?
No, I just want tips on how to.
What's so funny
tips
about
on how
empowerment?
Empowerment comes from within.
Yeah. Okay, what do you have to say? I'm good. Thank you, GMC.
So I guess what I would add to this empowerment bit will be that the mission does not start and stop with you. Our job here at the detachment, it's not to keep our excellence to ourselves and then take it with us into active duty. Is that's the legacy that you want to exhibit, then there's no legacy to be left behind in the detachment. Empowerment works in many different ways, but the biggest thing is that the mission cannot, it's not a one main job, and it would never be that way. Not when you go in the Air Force, not when you go into the Space Force either. So if you don't empower now, um, the sad reality will be that no one else will be able to do the job to the quality and expectations that you're used to. And at the end of the day, it's gonna hurt you because you're gonna just be taking on so much, and at some point your engine is just gonna stop working. And then also it's not gonna be helping the bigger group, because they just never been allowed to learn and to fail and to seek that feedback and to seek that excellence from you. So the legacy really should be to leave the detachment with what's excellent about you, and keep that going.
Yeah, and I'll just finish it off with this. Something very similar to what Captain Sledge had said about your toots being in check. There's another podcast on Spotify called Huberman Lab, and essentially it's basically where they bring in science with just real things in life, right? And they were in this episode they were talking about who are the happiest people and why. And the two things that the psychologist brought up to was being grateful and two, being empowered. And those two, like you can be as happy as you like. Those are the happiest people, and it's scientifically proven and statistically proven. So I'll just finish it off with that.
Thank you, Cadet Ballesteros, for giving me some statistics that was talking about some empowerment. And Roy was like, I ain't got nothing. I ain't got nothing. This whole internet, I ain't got nothing. Like,
It was the Wi-Fi. Let's bring the Wi-Fi. We had no
yeah,
service.
the Wi-Fi that's in the library at the university. All right, that's cool. It's not broadband enough, not enough bandwidth, whatever. Okay, thank you, Cadet Ballesteros. That sounds like some great bite-sized advice for folks to take. All right, what do we got next?
Next, we got another segment by our new guest today, Cadet Manrissa. So, as she has previously stated, she is prior enlisted. She comes with a lot of experience, right? She has had multiple positions in the cadet wing as flight commander, as PA, as investigating officer this semester. But truly, what sets her out, compared to her peers, is her personality, I would say, and her leadership style. So, she has a lot of segments, or her segment today is going to be about having a backbone.
Yeah.
Perfect. So my bread and butter. I mentioned it earlier today that I'm more of a knife hand kind of person. Uh, yeah, the biggest, baddest, and best. And that comes from just my past experiences, being prior enlisted and understanding how the beast works in the other side of the picture. So on the talks of backbone, I wrote a little something that I wanted to share with y'all. And really, it just comes down to building a backbone begins with cultivating a strong sense of self and unwavering self belief. So, what does that mean? That means that embracing your values, understanding your worth, and standing firm in your convictions. Know that you have the power to shape your own destiny, and that challenges are merely opportunities for growth. This is why developing mental resilience is paramount. So, how do we do that? You might be asking yourselves. The way that we do this is by training your mind to embrace adversity as a chance to demonstrate your strength. So, don't wait until the next PMT event to show your flight commanders that you're coachable. Show them right away. Show them the next opportunity that you have to be in a command position, or even to be an active follower. Additionally, it's never personal. Feedback is never personal. Corrections are never personal. So learn how to compartmentalize. Air Force ROTC is your cadet professional life. That's it. Um, Additionally, it is your responsibility to nurture a mindset focusing on solutions rather than dwelling on problems. So embrace a growth mindset that views failures as a stepping stone towards success. And we talk about success and we throw this word sometimes very lightly, but what success looks like will be becoming and growing into the biggest and baddest and bestest version of yourself. Um, so don't wait until tomorrow to fix your problems. Start today. Embrace the issue. Take a minute to internalize it. Why is it a problem, and what's expected of me, and then attack. Building a backbone is a continuous process. So embracing challenges as opportunity for growth and for learning experiences will be the way to go. Feedback is unavoidable. It is part of the game. The mission does not start and stop with you. So embrace it by listening to understand rather than to respond, and take what's actionable. With that being said, the last couple of comments that I will have to share with you guys will be to let your actions align with your values and aspirations. So embrace integrity, authenticity, and conviction. Cultivate resilience, discipline, and build really a support network, as this will empower you to navigate through the challenges of cadet life. And all of this to say that don't let others tell you who you are, show them instead. Um, Not to end on a bad note, but rather a reality check. Remember, you will never be useless because you could always be used as a bad example.
Yikes. That's pretty doggone good. I was just gonna say, since you are a knife hand person, there's a saying that goes out there. You know, when you point at one person, it's three fingers pointing at you. Well, that's why we start doing the knife hand because it's all on you. Yeah, that's a thing. That's a thing. That's what they say around here. But then you put it better. You could be used as a bad example. That's pretty doggone good.
You don't want to be that guy.
You know, please don't be that guy or gal. Yeah, please don't. All right, that was pretty doggone good. Thank you, Cadet Minaressa. That was money in the bank there. All right, cool. So with that being said, I think we can press on. How much time do we have in this segment? Yeah, okay, so we got time. We might be able to bounce back to her other question. Can we? Can we bounce back to her
Yeah,
question?
Cadet let's bring back
Let's
your third
bring back that
question
third
from the
question. We a little ahead
GMC.
of the game here.
Okay, great. Because oh my gosh, you should be a singer. Okay, great. Because this one I got asked a lot today
Cool.
especially after OLAV and PT.
Because
um,
you're so popular.
so we got harped on a lot. Especially I did from Captain Sledge, about our wingmanship, at the detachment. So a lot of people are wondering, what are ways to improve your wingmanship, not just in your flight level, but your squadron and wing level.
I think I'm just gonna put it really simple, but I told this to Charlie Flight, who I was with today. Shout out to the C5s. Um, it's just generally care. Like if you generally care, wingmanship shouldn't even be a problem. Oftentimes, we get into the ropes of I'm gonna go to BT, I'm just gonna do some push-ups and sit-ups, I'm gonna go to LM, I'm just gonna, zone out while I'm marching. But that means you honestly don't care. And I told them very specifically my number one expectation for them was to care about themselves, to care about their team, and to care about the mission that we're doing. And just simple as that, care. Because I mean it's you don't have to fake womanship.
Yeah, absolutely. And actually, faking womanship, it's so easy to tell. It's so easy to tell. And,
And
POC
toxic.
read through it, cadre reads through it, your own team reads through it. So my biggest advice will be to show up. You don't have to be the top guy in your flight. You don't have to be the flight commander of the week. You don't have to be that person. Don't be that guy, right? But by showing up, you can be 100% a what do we like to call it? No actionable follower. What is it called?
Actively?
An active follower. You don't have to be the shipman. You don't have to be the lion leading the pack, but like you can be an active follower. So how do you become a wingman for the bigger picture of like the detachment? Like literally help other people out. Even if you have to call out a POC, and I don't mean by calling out, but like helping them out, because at the end of the day, it is that four patch, the one that shows in your shirt, in your red polo, it is the dead 4 patch that shows in our OCP top. So when people look at us looking from the outside, they don't look about they don't think about, oh, Cadet Manresa or Cadet Ballesteros. They don't know us. What they see, however, is that patch. So if we start thinking about a group mentality rather than our individual selves, I feel like, and we have seen this all this past semester. I think this is something that's inevitable, just because we are individuals at last, but we have a very individualistic mentality. So if we start stripping ourselves away from that individualistic mentality and start looking at ourselves more as like, okay, we are a group, it is therefore against Texas A&M, it is therefore against Embry-Riddle, it is therefore against the whole nation. If we start looking at ourselves in that way, you'll be able to show up for people, to become that wingman, not only for your fellow GMC, but for POC, for cadre. Gosh, if I was to see Captain Sledge without a cover, 20 meters outside the detachment going to the parking lot, I'm not gonna hold back just because he's scattered. No, he's part of the team. He's still wearing that four patch, and I don't want my teammate to look like a clown for these outsiders. You know what I mean? So if we're gonna talk about womenship, we need to start. We gotta start by stripping away ourselves from that individualistic mindset of like, oh, I'm good, I look good, we're good to go. No, we're not good to go until we're all good to go.
Yeah, what she said. What she said. You know, I got nothing. That's pretty doggone good, right? Yeah, that I told you she's the spice of the group. She's spicy spice. If we were the Spice Girls, she would be spicy spice. That would be it. Okay, so was that we caught up with your question there?
Yeah.
That answer your okay.
You hit the spot.
All right, cool. All right, so okay. So with that being said, I think we all caught it. We can get up to the next thing. So Cadet Ballesteros, please steer the ship to the next location that we're doing.
So now we're just gonna finish it off again with who in this room would ... So previously it was Cadet Walbro. He's not here today, but Cadet Arroyo, I believe, can lead the ship in this direction that we wanted to. And yeah, with the people we have in this room, well, what 5, him included.
Yeah, we'll throw that out there.
We'll see who does the things.
Okay, great. I'm back. Okay. So the first one is, who is most likely to jump off of a moving train?
Move it. That's Adrian. Adrian would jump off a moving train. Yeah, he would do that.
Do you want to support yourself in the mic?
Nah, he gonna sit in that corner. I told you.
We're just gonna press forward.
That's Adrian.
Okay, next one. Who is most likely to have a reality TV show?
Ooh,
I think
right here. Right. Well, if we're talking about Cadet Wing, then me
then
right
yeah,
here.
you.
Now, if we're talking about Cadra, 100p Captain Sledge. I feel like we're the kind of individuals that we have a lot of impactful thoughts that for us is important to be shared with the rest of the world. Like I talked about earlier, legacy. It's not just for me, it's for like the whole world. So I feel like the Hulu, please hit me up, Netflix, whoever else. So yeah, I would take that one with
Yeah, just
a
pay
touch
me.
on my chest.
Just pay me.
Yeah.
Just pay me.
Real quick in my mind, I just had like a really like as what the reality TV would be like. It would, it would show the cadets all, failing at drill, right? And it just spans directly to Colonel sitting in a chair in the dark room. You're like, I just don't know what these guys,
Yeah, he ain't got no words. His just hair is just buried.
That was just what was in my mind when you said that.
He said left face. He said left face. Why did they go right? I don't understand.
Okay.
Hey, he's the reason why I'm still employed. So
Okay, next one. Who is most likely to cry because of a sad movie?
Oh, that's Ballesteros. That's Ballesteros. And
Crying
then
with any emotional movie. It can be even a happy movie, and I'm like, oh my gosh.
that's the thing.
Yeah.
Ballesteros, that's the thing. You ain't never seen no movies. I sent you a
just don't
series
know-
of movies.
Don't know the old movies.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Oh, I get it.
Are we just dropping the word all like that?
I
Just
get it.
casually
Sorry,
dropping
It's
that
not
word?
my fault that you have. Some movies are timeless, like Friday, okay, and you have.
Yeah, I still have not seen that one.
See.
I know. I see.
I'm on the same boat. I don't see old
Oh my
movies.
In my defense, I think I was talking about this with Captain Sutton. Is that like I know a lot of movies, but a lot of Spanish movies. As a younger kid, I didn't really see a lot of like, Friday, that type of stuff, because I was seeing all the Mexican oldies, from my family.
So you never seen Jueves? You never seen Jueves?
No, wait, what? No,
You never seen Friday?
Friday is viernes, sir.
Sorry, I lost it.
He tried it.
They
He
tried.
I like
tried.
the intent. I like the intent, but stuff like that where like I'm like, I swear it's not because I generally just didn't. I wasn't really exposed to it. It was just stuff about my culture.
There's always room for improvement, so we're gonna be working on that. Our last semester, senior year, we're gonna be catching up with American culture, both me and Ballesteros.
Okay, ready for the next one? Who is most likely to worry about the small things?
Take it away, Ballesteros. Take it away, Fer. I mean, really, what I mean by that is that, for Ballester is really the kind of person that's very detail oriented. And it's not that she worries about the small things; it's that she's very like, attention to detail is really like one of her core
Mm.
values. So it's not a bad thing. Actually, I think in this case will be like one of your strengths, really. The only caveat to that will be like, how do you go about it, right? But
No, yeah, I think she's on the right track. I do tend to worry about the small things, right? I just like she said, keeping things up to par as to what they should be, right? So now it's just going back to like, what is my reaction to that? Oftentimes I am stressed out, so I try to keep it, within, but also just, realizing as we always said, ROTC is a leadership experience and a learning experience, and it's bound to fail, and I have to be okay with that.
Okay, great. We have time for
How much time? How much time we got, Adrian, our engineer for the day? So we had 7. We got a little bit of time. We can go.
Okay.
We can go a little bit of time.
Who's most likely to be a stand-up comedian?
Oh, yo, that's Manresa.
right here. But I would say I'm gonna plug my boy in, Cadet Pule, Simon Pule.
Oh yeah, 100%.
I think we take the torch on this one. He for him for the guys, and me for the girls. Gotta represent. I think comedy and just humor, having a light heart. For things, not taking everything at face value is important, and that's part of the backbone theme that I brought to the podcast today. So incorporating humor in a tasteful, tactful as well manner in the workplace, it's never gonna be a bad thing. So that's what I will have to say about that.
Yeah, comedy is actually one of those things that help dilute some of the realities. Sometimes things are hard to take on at face value. So comedy helps us dilute it to the point where it is digestible, and it's like, but it makes you think about some things and like, hey, wait a minute, that person has a point. So a lot of the things that you guys are taking too seriously with ROTC or whatever you guys are dealing with life, a little bit of comedy will probably help you guys, right, laugh at it a little bit, and then it makes you feel a little bit better. You can take it on the next day. When you guys look back at it after you guys have achieved everything, you can look back at it and laugh at it. It kind of sucks when you're going through it, but when you look back at it, like field training or basic training, you look back at it, man, it wasn't so bad after all, right? In most people's cases, or you can just laugh at some situations that are happening where your TIs or FTOs are yelling at you. You're like, you know what? They did have a point. I was dead wrong on that one, and you can laugh at it. So yes, and then yes, comedy. Comedy, right? Me, I've retired. Okay, how much time? Yeah, we got a little bit. We got time for one more. Okay, Adrian says we have time for one more.
Okay, last one. Who is most likely to be a horrible boss?
Dang. Arroyo.
She's still learning. She's still learning.
She got fired.
Well then, all right, you gotta take this one, my girl. You gotta take this one for
Sorry,
you.
I'll take this one then. Job, I got fired.
Horrible boss.
But okay, in Cadet Aro's defense, I think she's been doing great as a GMCA. So in that regard, as a boss, I think she's been doing awesome. So
That's why I said accounted for her feelings.
Hey, build a bad boy.
Oh, Captain Sludge yelled at me today for not having morale in my flight, so I'll take it. I'll take the horrible boss.
I wasn't yelling. I was shouting into the air, into the atmosphere. Don't tell people that. You got fired. Okay, cool. So, with all means, I think we're good. So let's press on with the last event.
Closing remarks.
alrighty, everybody, this was a good run. We had a lot of good guests today. Cadet Marissa, Cadet Ariel, thank you guys for spending the time here with us. Hopefully you guys come back.
Thank you for inviting us.
Hopefully this space is now you're tenured. You're tenured now.
Yeah. Thank you. No, I wanted to say, I wanted to take a second and say thank you for having us here. It's really important for the GMC and just the cadet way in general to hear from the GMCA, the person that represents them as a whole. And also, I wanted to say, if you guys wanted to hear more about Project Go, about PDTs, about how to get money out of Air Force RTC, have me again the podcast, and I will dig into that because I have 7 PDTs on my record. Weird flex, I know, but I can definitely talk you guys into how to definitely explore and exploit the opportunities that are out there for you.
What part of static member did you miss? You keep saying, "Oh, just invite me back on the podcast." Invite me back on the podcast so I can go ahead and tell y'all she gonna be here next week. She's gonna be here next week, maybe, right? According to her, I'm not sure. Okay, GMCA, what about you? What is something? Are you gonna be here next week?
I won't be here next week. I have an call with.
Oh, that's right.
the
She's got
GMC course, so
she-
I
she-
have to go do that.
She's got to make an orbit around
But
the.
yes, if you guys want me back, I will gladly come back.
What part of static member did you not get? Man, let's go.
Okay, I'll be back in 2 weeks then.
Next week, we're gonna do Webster's dictionary review, and we're gonna look through some definitions of static. All right. Okay. So with that being said, we appreciate y'all. Welcome to the team. We cannot wait till everybody's in there so we can all get in here and gel together. But we got to get this POC and these GMC situations taken care of, and then once all that stuff's ironed out, we'll be back in full swing with Cadet General and Walboro and Cooper and all the folks guiding the ship. All right. So with that being said, talk to somebody differently, get a different perspective on life, and don't forget, jump off the cliff or else get kicked off. All right. Cadet Ballesteros, back to you.
Right, everyone. Have a very solid day. Enjoy your times. Get those perspectives. Out.